Hello, YouTube. It's your girl Denise, and I'm back with Baddies East episode 17. We're in better spirits this week, especially after Stunna Girl went on Instagram yesterday and spilled everything she had to say. Even though we kind of already knew that, but this time she actually put names to these accusations that we're going to get into. And just a reminder, this is not a blogging channel, this is an educational channel. But if it does pertain to the storyline of the episode that I'm covering, that's when I will speak on the situation that's happening and get into my theories. As always, chapters in the description if you just want to skip ahead to the part where Natalie and Scotty are fighting at the restaurant. But right now, we're going to start at the beginning of this episode. We left off with the production crew transporting Smiley to the hospital, and Tesekhi is having the same reaction that I would have because I wholeheartedly believe that this girl Smiley was faking everything. And this girl done ruined everybody's Jamaica trip and ruined our audience experience as well, because I remember how excited I was when the mid-season trailer dropped for the Jamaica episodes, but now I'm just like, this show needs to wrap up. It needs to be over. But getting back to Tesekhi, of course, she's pissed off because they didn't get to have any fun. And I see the fans giving Tesekhi a lot of shit for being unsympathetic to Smiley, but you guys have to understand that she shared a room with Smiley before, so if anybody in that house knows Smiley on a more personal level, it would be Tesekhi. And if you've been watching me cover this series this whole time, you remember every single time that I pointed out that Tesekhi is the friendliest girl in the house. Because even when Scarface, who was supposed to be her ops, came to the house, she was so excited to meet her. And even at one point, Tesekhi asked Anna, like, remember when you told me that I was being too friendly with that girl? Talking about Smiley. So deep down, I know that Tasiki really is a kind and caring, friendly girl. So for her to be acting this way and getting like this right now, you know that she doesn't believe Smiley for anything, and that Smiley has been doing little attention seeking things here and there. That Tasiki is just, she's just tired of it, honestly. So some of the girls in House B get out on the bus, they start talking about Smiley. Biggie lets us know that Smiley has been, like, quote unquote bugging in the house. She didn't go into detail like what she means by that exactly, but the girls do allude to Smiley saying something along the lines of like, I'm gonna go out with a bang, just basically implying that Smiley's about to do something crazy. So my question for the House B girls is that why, knowing how this girl seeks for attention, why didn't you guys do anything to prevent this from happening? Because I would have been the first one to go snitch and complain to production saying, hey, she about to do something stupid. I just know it. Come get this girl before I get her myself. Because now she just ruined y'all's whole trip. And then Biggie had to even call Anna to join in on the conversation, and they were talking about how they've had to speak to Smiley mad times in the house. And now even Tasiki is saying that she wants to whoop Smiley's ass just so Smiley can understand, because apparently if you don't put your hands on her, she doesn't understand. It just goes in one ear and out the other, which, I mean, I don't think that works either. Like I've been saying, people like Smiley, you can't cure them. There's nothing you can do. You just have to basically ignore them, not give them the attention that they're seeking, and also not even give them the platform to be on TV to get said attention. But I digress. Moving on to Natalie gathering all the girls in the parking lot. She says that they're gonna go enjoy the markets, but the girls still can't be together all as one group. They still have to be separated, which still doesn't make sense to me. But if I had to guess, since she does mention that Bobby and Suki are there, I would have thought that Natalie might have wanted to go do some extracurricular activities with Bobby allegedly, and just kept the girls in her house around with her because they might also partake in said activities. That's not based on any fact or any evidence that I have. That's just my opinion. And this is off topic, but just look at all the Jamaicans in the background just staring around, wanting to be on camera so bad. Like I just hate when people do that. But anyways, now the cameras do follow Smiley to the hospital, and Smiley is still asking for her son at the hospital. One thing I did forget to mention in my last video is that if she wasn't coherent, why does she still have her black scent? So she's basically still asking for her son in her black scent. We also have a producer here with her asking her questions. Smiley lets us know that she has seizures all the time and that she can't drink. So the producer is asking her, oh, what did you drink? Did you just have a Hennessy? Did you mix anything else with it? And you can see how when she's admitting to drinking the Hennessy, her face is how her face normally looks like. When the producer asks her if she took anything else, you see how she makes that confused face, that lying face, which is the same face that she put on when Rollie confronted her about the miscarriage. And then when she says that she took 7 shots, her face goes back to normal. So that's just Smiley's obvious tell that she's lying. She just makes that face, and we're gonna see that face again later, when tesekhi confronts her about faking her seizure. So I do believe that she is telling the truth about these 7 shots. And even if you are one of those people that believe Smiley did have her seizure, you still have to admit that she purposefully induced those seizures by drinking when she knows that she's not supposed to. And obviously, a toxicology report can tell us what Smiley ingested, including the alcohol and whatever pills she may have taken. But you have to notice how she's refusing care. And it seems like all the doctors did was take some blood. Now, if she did have to provide some urine for the toxicology exam, and if she did sign away her rights so that Zeus would have access to her exam results, they would be able to determine for themselves whether or not Smiley is lying to them. Besides that, we don't really see the doctors pump her stomach or put her on the IV drip. And as she's coming out, you can still see it's still daylight when she is coming out the hospital. So I don't think she was in there for that long or got much care. It just seems that Smiley was really upset that they even brought her to the hospital. And even as they're wheeling her out of the hospital, you can kind of like slightly hear Smiley's actual accent when she was just like, "Why you bring me here?" It sounded a little too Spanish, and I'm just like, Smiley, that's how you really talk, girl. But kudos to Natalie for still taking this very seriously. I mean, she kind of has to, right? Because if they had a death on their hands, that's a huge lawsuit for the network. So as she's telling Suki and Bobby Lights, who were tucked away in this van, like they weren't there the whole time. Natalie is catching them up on Smiley, and you can tell here just by her face, Suki is very concerned. Like she loves Smiley. I personally don't understand, but at least somebody cares about Smiley. So anyway, House A and Bobby go shopping at the markets. Fast forward to nighttime, and they go meet up with Rollie, who, like, how many of y'all noticed that she was not there until they mentioned that she was not there? So Rollie had taken a break from filming because she lets us know that her father had passed away from seizures. Now, I know some people online have been saying that Rollie said last season that her dad passed away from COVID, and then before that, on Baddies South, she said that her dad passed away from diabetes. I don't remember. I don't recall, and I don't feel like watching all those episodes back again to prove a point. But I'll take her word for it, only because she says that her dad had swallowed her tongue, which, of course, I Googled it. According to Google, it is anatomically impossible to swallow your tongue. Second of all, you're not supposed to stick anything in anybody's mouth when they are having a seizure, especially your fingers, because they will bite your fingers off. Obviously, they're shaking uncontrollably. So what you're supposed to do is you're just supposed to put them in recovery position, which is on their side, and just let the seizure run its course, because there's nothing you can do to stop a seizure. You just have to make sure that while they are seizing, they're at least in a safe place on some cushion where they won't hold or hurt themselves. But whatever it is that is bothering rollie, it was still enough to upset her because she was still visibly upset. And I love that they still came to find her and give her the gifts that they got for her from the markets. I think that was so cute. That actually did put a smile on her face and make her feel better. Because yeah, y'all know I'm not a rollie hater, okay? That's still my girl. She's just having a bad season, okay? Okay, so in the beginning, the girls, they walk into Lobster Dave, that's the name of the restaurant. You can see Scarface limping and being held by security. So I think she probably hurt her foot while they were walking in the markets. Next, the bullshit ensues. Like, cause once you see this title card, like you just know the bullshit ensues, and they're trying to play in our face, like we're idiots. Like I'm not about to do this video breaking down the whole situation. So, matter of fact, let me go ahead and correct this title card for you. This is how it should be, free of charge. So you're welcome. And maybe I should put up the allegedly, because this is just my theory of how everything went down. Of course, I wasn't there, but we're going to break this scene down because no matter how much you guys want to lie to us, Natalie and Scotty are still arguing about something real, and they're giving us little context clues about what they're arguing about. So while Natalie and Scotty start arguing, you can clearly see that nobody has even ate, probably not even ordered any food just by looking at the table. There's no crumbs on the table, there's no used napkins, there's no plates. Even the hot sauce and the salt and the pepper hasn't even been moved. Plus, it seems like all the crew is present. Everybody is still recording. So I don't think anybody took a break. And they're trying to make this about food when clearly all people have had the chance to order was drinks, because you can see empty cups and empty bottles on the tables. Not only that, but then Natalie and Scotty proceed to argue about text messages for the next 10 minutes. Now, Stunna had leaked the text messages between her and Scotty, so I'm assuming this is what they're talking about. Scotty says Natalie showed somebody a text message that is not accurate at all. I'm quoting Scotty like verbatim. So if I had to guess, she had that conversation with Stunna by text earlier that day. Stunna lets Scotty know a friend told me that Anna got chlamydia from Lemmy, and if you guys don't know, but I think the whole world knows by now, that Scotty is also sleeping with Lemmy. A lot of the cast members are sleeping with Lemmy. Allegedly, some have to do that to even get a spot on the show. But I'm not trying to be messy. No shade being thrown right here. We're focused on the 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 episode. So after Scotty receives that news, of course, she would be, devastated, I assume. Although she claims that she hasn't gotten anything or contracted anything from Lemmy, it's still weird that you have to be on the same show with another girl who is also sleeping with the same man that you are allegedly like in love with, and they're swapping diseases with each other. So my guess is that Scotty showed Natalie the messages and then Natalie showed Lemmy the messages, and that's what she's referring to when she says showed text messages are not accurate. Here we get Rollie making an attempt to stop Scotty and Natalie from fighting, but you can hear a voice call out to Rollie telling her to leave him alone. So if I had to guess, I think that was Lemmy's voice. Because mind you, he's in the room watching all of this like unfold. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like he gets off on sending Natalie to fight a girl on his behalf, or sending another girl to fight another girl on his behalf. So all of this is just weird. It's just like sick, honestly, that Natalie would even be the quote unquote bottom bitch, as y'all like to call her, for a man like Lemmy, especially when she says, she's been in the TV industry for 15 years, like she could lay up for the rest of her life and not work anymore. So then it's like, why are you being so subservient to this man if you don't need the money? Especially when your husband is like 10 times better looking, better built, like it's just weird. Her husband looks so fine. I don't know why she would even want to mess with Lemmy. It don't make no sense. And it also don't make no sense how comfortable Natalie is getting in Scotty's face like that if they're so-called friends. It's obvious that Natalie does this to Scotty all the time because she's just kind of like standing there just taking it. Natalie even puts her hand around Scotty's neck, which finally made Scotty kick Natalie right in the face. But her standing up to Natalie doesn't last that long. Natalie keeps going off on Scotty. She keeps calling her a liar, which I don't understand why you're calling somebody a liar if all they did was order 2 plates of food that you're upset about and that they got their food first. Like that doesn't make sense to me. And then we get this one line that really stood out to me where Natalie says that these 20-year-olds are delusional. And the 20-year-olds that I'm thinking that Lemmy has been messing with would be Anna, who's 22. Scotty, I don't know how old I think she said she was 26. Stunna would be around the same age. So these delusional 20-year-olds are all the girls that Lemmy has been getting with or trying to get with. Then we get Scotty say that Natalie is doing all this acting for the cameras because apparently Scotty already had a conversation with Natalie because Scotty said something. The captions didn't pick this up, but Scotty did say we spoke about this earlier and that Scotty didn't originally want to come to the dinner, but Natalie texted her to come to the dinner. Which, side note about the captions, like Zeus Network, y'all really need to hire a transcriber to fix these captions for you because these captions are just inaccurate like 30% of the time. And I have to keep going back and rewinding and slowing down the audio just to understand what the girls are saying that's not necessarily being picked up by the boom mic. Then we get a moment where Biggie stands up and she shouts something. I couldn't really hear exactly what she said. But then I think Anna makes a joke about Biggie grabbing a chair or needing a chair, which I think was just like a genius double entendre because it looks like at the moment Biggie doesn't have a chair, but also if you recall to the last dinner the girls had, Biggie picked up the chair on Scarface. And it seems like all the other girls found it funny too. Even Rollie is smiling here. I also love Tesekhi in the scene because she's just so confused about what Natalie and Scotty are fighting about. Like you can tell the poor girl, she just wants to eat. She doesn't care what you girls are arguing about. In contrast to how Mariah's acting here, I don't know. She's like getting herself involved. Even Suki had to check her. Whatever. Don't really care about talking about Mariah. So then we get Scotty. Just I don't know. I don't even know what this is. Stockholm syndrome. I don't know. But Scotty's just basically telling Natalie, do it. Do whatever you want to me. Hit me. Like whatever. Like this girl's not sticking up for herself. When you can clearly see the scratches on her neck from when Natalie grabbed her neck earlier. It's just tiring. It's tiring that this girl won't even defend herself. Next, Smiley pops up and it's her turn to hear Natalie's mouth. Smiley is still sticking to the story that she doesn't remember anything. And here is a side profile of that confused face that she likes to make when she's obviously lying. Even Tesekhi is like, why are you making that dumbass face? While confronting Smiley about faking her seizure. Because at this point, Tesekhi is tired of Smiley's antics and she's ready to beat her up. But Tesekhi doesn't end up doing anything. She just tells Smiley to go home. Smiley is ready to go home. Natalie, I don't know what it is about her that she feels the need to get into people's faces and try to control them and tell them what to do, but she's not letting Smiley leave. And here Smiley would have had my support had she popped Natalie in the face, but no, not Smiley chooses to entertain hearing Natalie's voice, which sounds like nails on a chalkboard to me. Like I don't know how these girls put up with hearing Natalie's voice every day. But then absolutely when nobody called for her. Scarface, who has a hurt foot right now, still manages to get up and dump water on Smiley. Here still Smiley doesn't do anything. It's clear she's not fighting anybody. The girls don't like her. So she goes home. Thank God. Good riddance. Smiley, please just stay home and go get some help. Now, knowing how much Sukiana loves her, some Smiley, she gets upset and calls Scarface weird for dumping that water on Smiley. Now, I was wondering why Scarface didn't fight Sukiana herself as opposed to Rollie getting up and doing it. I do believe her leg is hurting right now. So, Rollie being the good friend that she is, and this is where you have to give her props. She is defending her friend here. And now Suki, after just writing for Smiley, is gonna go ahead and insult Smiley by saying to Rollie that I'm not Smiley. So Suki right now is down to fight Rollie. She also says that Rollie has an STD, which, just given Rollie's reaction to what Suki is saying, it just seems like Suki just kind of like pulled that out of the blue, out of nowhere. That's just like an insult that she'll like regularly throw at somebody. So Suki's joke, it's a good joke. The timing is good, just wrong person. Rollie just ignores Suki and basically says that nobody can touch Suki per her contract, which makes sense though, because this whole time Sapphire has been um, basically throwing hands force on Suki's behalf. We saw how Sukiana instigated the whole thing with Smiley and Mariah about the chain, but had Sapphire do all the physical labor. So I do believe the contract thing, but here, Rollie, I don't know, she was already upset about something earlier. I don't think it was necessarily her father, but she's already upset about something, and then now you're just yelling in her face. Of course, that's going to throw Rollie over the edge. So Rollie throws the first punch, and this is where the episode cuts off. Now, in the previews for next episode, we do see Scarface throwing water again, as if she was a waterbender, as if she is Miss Wet Wet, at Suki's face. So Suki goes ahead and tries to send Sapphire to fight Scarface, but you can see Sapphire's a little hesitant. I mean, this girl, while you've been away for your bookings, Suki, this girl has been spending her time with House A, trying to blend in, trying to secure her spot for season 5. So to an extent, like, these are her friends too, but you're her best friend. So I feel like she still should have defended you without you having even to say anything. So this is what I think Suki and Sapphire are going to have a conversation about this next episode. So if I could just ask everybody to just reserve your judgment until we see the episode, because y'all have been flaming Sapphire's ass online, which I'm not gonna get on her until I see the episode. And then the only other thing I see worthy of watching next episode is part 2 of Scotty versus Natalie. It seems like this time Scotty gets Natalie back really good. Clearly they're still fighting over text messages. Other than that, my advice for Stunna is that if you're really serious about starting your own network, I would keep the remaining secrets that you didn't let out until you start your network, and you can like use that as promo. You should also do like some kind of docu-series surviving Zeus network as one of your shows for your new network. Just basically monetize all of the secrets that we want to know, because at this point, literally, like, what's happening off camera and behind the scenes is more interesting than what is happening in the actual season. And I wholeheartedly believe everything that Stunna Girl said, because you notice, I mean, she's told us these things before, but just notice how her story hasn't changed. She's also very specific in the details of what happened. Third, it just seems like everything she's saying is lining up based on what we see on camera in the show, because it just seems like these girls just be fighting for no reason. But then Stunna explains it, and they're just like, okay, I can see that. I get it now. So that's it for me. Let me edit this episode. I will see you for episode 18. I think we might be going all the way up to 20, because there's still some scenes from the mid-season trailer that we haven't seen in this preview for the next episode. So we really might go up to 20. Other than that, that's it for me. As always, take care of yourself. I will see you in the next episode. Bye.